Hi, my name is Sommy, and if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you're an old subscriber, thank you and welcome back. Today's video, I'll be sharing things that you need to do before your maternity leave ends. So let me get this off my chest first. So maternity leave is a time where a mother stops work to either take care of, either because she's had a baby or she's adopted a baby. So it's usually a time for you to kind of like recover and bond with your newborn baby. But the US is the only developed country without a parental leave. I remember watching President Trump during the State of the Union address saying something about trying to regularize the FMLA. I'm going to put a video somewhere here, the FMLA Act, and saying in most industrialized countries give people at least 14 weeks to kind of like recover, and it's usually either paid or 50%. Something is usually covered. But the US offers something called the FMLA, the Family Medical Leave Act, but that only protects a woman and only gives you job security, that just have a job protection. It doesn't mandate your employer to pay you within that period of maternity leave. And then research has it that only 16% of Americans are entitled to paid parental leave. And to think about it, to think about and put things in perspective, most companies would give a woman 6 weeks, to recover and go back to work. And I feel it's horrendous to give a mother only 16 weeks to get ready and bond. Like, it takes time to establish a breastfeeding routine. It takes time to bond with your newborn. It takes time to, get childcare, to get all those things going and think about going back to work. So I feel like that's something that hard on people. Like, think about it. If you had to support your family, some people have the choice of not going back to work or going back to work. But if you are the sole provider, you had to go back to work. I can't imagine the kind of toll it takes on your body, both mentally, physically, and otherwise. Anyways, let me stop ranting and just go ahead and tell you things that you have to consider and get ready while your maternity leave is ending if you're going back to work. First thing you have to do, treat yourself and be kind to yourself. Like, every mother's decision is different, and whatever you have decided to do, own it up to yourself, right? So if you have, a lot of people decide not to go back to work, not because they're lazy or because they have it all going for themselves, but some people have checked and they're like, okay, I'm paying this in daycare, maybe I'm paying $1,200 or $1,500 in daycare, and I have to pay that for 2 kids. That might be like up to like $3,000. You might have a nanny, so it's like all these childcare costs. Can I afford to pay all that? It doesn't make sense for me. I might as well stay back and take care of the kids. Some people also have jobs that are flexible, that they can work remotely and still be able to work and still take care of their kids, or have a nanny or someone that comes and take care of their kids. So be kind to yourself. Don't compare your situation to another person's situation. Everybody's situation is different, and whatever choice people make is what is best for their families at that point in time. Number 2, before you go back, choose a childcare. I have a video somewhere here that talks about the right childcare for you. So you have to research and kind of like have childcare in place before you go back to work. Which reminds me to what I was saying before. 6 weeks is not enough to get a good childcare, especially routine with someone. So that's something you have to do before your maternity leave ends. So that these are like your 6 weeks or your 12 weeks, whatever you have. These are things that you have to like, I need to get this done. Like, I need to get this done. So childcare. Do you want to do a daycare? If it's daycare you're doing, you need to like schedule ahead of time for hours where you go and do like a try run, do a try run, take your child there, see how things are going. You just don't want to start work today, drop a child off at the daycare, and you're just at work and thinking, oh my god, what have I done? Like, have like try runs for different days, see what works, get a routine with the baby, start trying out different routines with your child, and see how that works out well for you. You want to choose a nanny, get a nanny, have the nanny come. If it's a live-in nanny, the nanny should come and live with you. You see how the nanny deals with the child or with the kids. If it's a nanny that comes and goes, just familiarize yourself. Let the child familiarize themselves with the new caregiver they're going to be having when you're not there. Something that will keep your stress levels down while you're at work. Get organized to keep your stress levels down. Like, you need to do a lot of meal prep, prepare meals, have kind of like a schedule for how you do things in the house. If you have family and friends around, let people, please get help. Anybody that wants to help you, let them help you. Do your laundry. If people come, give them laundry to help you do, like, please. To let them do the dishes for you. Kind of like share the housework. If it's just you and your partner doing it, you guys kind of like share the housework so that nobody feels like nobody's stress levels are up, okay, who takes out the trash, who does this. Like, let there be a routine for how things should be done. When you're maternity leave, you're probably the only one doing it and you don't really care. But when you get back to work, it's gonna be hard for you to kind of like clean the house, do this, take care of kids, please get organized. You need to get organized. So while you're also on leave, email your employers and try and stay in touch with what is happening in the office. So you don't want to go back after like 6 weeks and feel like or 12 weeks and feel like I don't remember what's happening again. So if you have a buddy at work, stay in touch and know what's happening, what has happened, has there been any change, what's going on with the project. Email the employers once in a while, just get a feel of what's happening. Before you go back, you could also like schedule to meet some people from your department or from your project you're working on. If it's a project-based thing you're working on, just to get a feel of what has been happening while I was away, so that you kind of like transition in better into what you've been doing. Which also listen to another, it's also like getting organized, but having a schedule and following that schedule. So kids thrive on routines. People thrive on routines too. Teach your morning routine, your night routine, and nail it down before you start going back after your maternity leave. Like, the baby wakes up at this time, like plan it around your time. So if you know that you typically go to work, if you're a 9 to 5, if you work 9 to 5 or you work 8 to 4, depending on your schedule, whatever your work schedule is. Like me, I typically leave the house like around 5:30. Around 5, I leave the house like around around 6 o'clock. So that's not the time. If maybe the baby, like now, my baby wakes up like around 7. You don't want to wake the child up at 6. So I have to kind of like, before I go back to work, kind of like make the schedule so that the child like work around that schedule. So will the child wake up at 6 or will the child wake up at 7? Those are things that you have to consider. Do you want to have, do you want to have a nanny that will give the child a bath at 7 or at 6? Like, have a routine and stick to your routine. What times do you feed your child? Do you need to express milk? Do you need to do formula? Like, all those things are things that you have to have a schedule for and nail it down. If you're taking your child to the daycare, we leave the house at 7:30 or at 7 o'clock. So before this time, the child should, this is what time you have to go to bed. This is what time you have to wake up. Like, things like that are things that you have to like get yourself ready for. Because going back to work after maternity leave can be hard for anybody and everybody. Like, if you are, some people like to go back to work, some people don't want to, but it's really a tough time and really a tough decision for a lot of people to make. But these are a few tips of things that I feel like if you have made up your mind that you're going back to work, these are some of the things that I feel like you should get yourself ready for before you make that move. Thank you so much guys for watching, and I hope you found this video useful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and see you next time. Bye.